The keys to success, let me ask you something. How bad do you really want it? I'm not talking about wishing for it, dreaming about it, or posting quotes on social media. I'm talking about grinding for it, sacrificing for it, praying for it, working for it when nobody sees you and nobody claps. Because here's the truth. Success don't come to the loudest complainer or the smoothest talker. It comes to the one who's got the keys and knows how to use them. So today, if you're tired of watching other people win while you stay stuck, it's time to find those keys. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is what you're willing to unlock. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the muscle that gets stronger every time you do something you don't feel like doing simply because it needs to be done. Without discipline, dreams just stay dreams. But with it, you can turn your entire life around. Most people want the rewards of success, but they're not willing to put in the work daily. That's the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who watch from the sidelines. You have to be the kind of person who says, I may not feel like it today, but I made a promise to myself. And then you follow through. That's discipline. You see, discipline is doing what's required when it's required, whether you're in the mood or not. It's waking up early to chase your goals. It's saying no to distractions when the world is begging for your attention. It's choosing purpose over pleasure. And the truth is, that doesn't feel good in the moment. There are days it'll be boring. There are moments you'll feel lonely. But later, when your hard work starts paying off, you'll be grateful that you didn't give in to the urge to quit. Because success doesn't come to those who want it once in a while. It comes to those who want it every day and are willing to work like it. Think about the athletes training in the gym before the sun comes up. Think about the entrepreneurs building businesses while others are sleeping. Think about the students studying when everyone else is out partying. That kind of consistency doesn't happen by accident. It happens when someone has made a decision to be disciplined. They've decided they're not going to be ordinary. They've decided their dreams are worth sacrificing for. You've got to be that kind of person. The kind who says, I won't let comfort rob me of my calling. And discipline doesn't just show up, it's built. It's formed in the small decisions. When you choose to work instead of procrastinate. When you push through when your body wants to quit. When you honor your commitments, even when no one's watching. That's how you train your mind to follow your purpose instead of your feelings. And when you train like that long enough, you become unstoppable. But here's the thing, discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Because when you live with discipline, you control your time instead of letting time control you. You stop reacting to life and start shaping it. You make choices today that your future self will thank you for. And the compound effect of those choices creates a life of stability, impact, and success. It's easy to say you want a better life, but how bad do you want it? Enough to wake up early, enough to say no to what feels good right now for what will feel better later, enough to keep showing up even when no one's clapping yet. That's the price of greatness. And it's paid in full through discipline. So if you're serious about success, start training yourself to be disciplined. Set routines. Keep promises to yourself. Don't rely on motivation. Build systems. Because when discipline becomes who you are, success becomes what you do. And that's how lives are changed. Not through big leaps, but by small steps taken daily with unwavering focus and relentless discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreaming and doing. Everybody wants to be successful, But not everybody is willing to put in the daily grind that success demands. That's where discipline comes in. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it. It's showing up when nobody is clapping. It's doing the work behind the scenes when the spotlight is off. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doers. Because while motivation might get you started, it's discipline that keeps you going. When you're chasing a big dream, you can't afford to be casual about your habits. Your daily decisions are either moving you closer to your goal or pulling you further away. You can't say you want success and keep hanging around distractions. You can't say you want growth and keep avoiding discomfort. Success doesn't show up on accident. It answers to structure, to sacrifice, to self-control. And discipline is the tool that builds all of that. It doesn't care how you feel. It only cares what you do. Discipline is saying no to things that feel good now so you can say yes to what will feel better later. It's skipping the party to work on your craft. It's turning off the TV to study one more hour. It's getting up to train while everybody else is still sleeping. That's not punishment, that's power. That's you taking control of your life instead of letting circumstances control you. You'll never rise higher than the standards you set for yourself. And discipline is how you raise those standards day by day. People often confuse discipline with restriction. They think it means living a boring, rigid life. But the truth is, discipline doesn't trap you, it frees you. It frees you from regret. It frees you from chaos. It frees you from wasting years on things that don't matter. Discipline is the friend that holds you accountable. It doesn't lie to you. It doesn't let you off the hook. It tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And in the long run, that's what builds real success. Not shortcuts, not hacks, just raw, focused daily discipline. Every great achievement you admire was built on discipline. Behind every gold medal, every bestseller, every successful business, there's a person who showed up consistently, even when it was hard. That kind of commitment doesn't just happen, it's trained. It's built one decision at a time. And the good news, anybody can build it. You don't have to be born special. You just have to decide you want something badly enough to fight for it. Discipline is available to everyone, but used by only a few. And yes, discipline will cost you. It'll cost you comfort. It'll cost you convenience. It'll cost you some sleep, some fun, and a few friendships that weren't good for you anyway. But what you gain in return, confidence, freedom, achievement, purpose, that's priceless. You'll start trusting yourself more. You'll start believing in your ability to make things happen. And that's where your power lies. So if you want to win, stop waiting for the perfect time. There's no such thing. Just start. Build habits. Keep promises to yourself. Stay focused when it gets boring. Push through when it gets tough. And most importantly, show up every day like your future depends on it, because it does. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need validation. But in the end, it always wins, because success doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to work. And discipline is what gets that work done. Faith is that unshakable belief in something you can't yet see, but you know deep down is meant for you. It's waking up every day, grinding, building, pushing, even when there's no evidence yet that it's working out. Faith is the fuel that keeps you going when the world tells you to quit. When the bank account low, when the doors keep closing, when the calls ain't getting returned, that's when faith has to speak louder than fear. Because the truth is, the journey to success will test everything inside you. And without faith, you'll fold under that pressure. Faith isn't just spiritual, it's strategic. It's a mindset, a weapon of choice. It's trusting the process when the results are delayed. It's knowing that what you're going through is preparing you for what you ask for. It's not always pretty. It won't always make sense. But it's necessary. Faith gives your effort purpose. It allows you to show up over and over when it feels like no progress is being made. People may not see your vision. They may laugh, doubt, and criticize. But your belief in what's coming has to be stronger than their disbelief in what you're doing. Everybody wants success, but not everybody wants to walk by faith. See, faith means you move even when the path isn't clear. You take steps when there's no applause. You trust the timing when it looks like you're behind. That's uncomfortable. But faith doesn't live in comfort. It lives in obedience, in persistence, in surrender. Faith is saying, I don't know how, but I believe it's possible. It's choosing hope over despair, courage over fear, action over excuses. The world moves fast. People are chasing quick wins, instant gratification, overnight results. But real success, it requires patience. And patience is born from faith. If you believe your breakthrough is coming, you don't mind waiting. You don't mind putting in the time, the energy, the repetition. Because you know, what's for you is already written. It just hasn't arrived yet. Faith keeps your head up while you're waiting. It tells you to keep showing up, to keep learning, to keep improving. It reminds you that every no is just making space for the right yes. Faith is also how you bounce back from failure. Life is going to knock you down. That's guaranteed. But faith helps you stand back up. It tells you this setback is not your ending. It's your setup. It whispers strength into your spirit when the world is screaming doubt. And over time, you'll look back and realize it was never luck. It was never connections. It was never timing. It was faith that got you through. Faith that pushed you forward. Faith that made you believe in something bigger than your struggle. Let me tell you something real. You might be the only one who believes in your dream right now. You might be the only one who sees what's coming. And that's okay, because faith is personal. It doesn't need a crowd. It just needs a committed heart. Don't let the silence fool you. Don't let the delay discourage you. Keep praying, keep pushing, keep believing. Your faith is a seed, and if you water it with action and patience, it will grow into something powerful. At the end of the day, faith is what carries you from where you are to where you're destined to be. Not because it makes the journey easy, but because it makes it worth it. When everything around you says stop, but your spirit says go, that's faith. And that kind of belief, that's what separates dreamers from achievers. Hold on to it, fight for it, and never let it go. Because with faith, you're never walking alone. And success, sooner or later, has no choice but to show up. Sometimes the greatest enemy to your success isn't failure, it's comfort. Comfort tells you to settle, to play it safe, to stick with what you know. It whispers that if things aren't broken, don't fix them. But here's the truth. Staying comfortable might keep you safe, but it will never make you grow. Growth lies on the other side of discomfort. If you want something you've never had, you've got to be willing to do something you've never done. And that means pushing past the familiar, challenging your habits, and confronting the parts of yourself that would rather stay the same than become better. When you live in your comfort zone, you create limits around your potential. You say to yourself, this is all I can do, when in reality, you haven't even scratched the surface of what's possible. People settle for average not because they lack talent, but because they fear uncertainty. It's scary to take risks. It's hard to face the unknown. But every person who ever achieved something meaningful had to step into the unknown. They had to trade comfort for challenge. They had to move forward even when their legs were shaking. Your comfort zone can feel like a warm blanket, but eventually that blanket becomes a cage. It starts to suffocate your ambition. You stop dreaming big because big dreams feel too far away. You stop trying new things because failure feels too painful. But here's the thing, failure is part of the process. Discomfort is the cost of progress. And fear is just a sign that you're on the brink of transformation. Nothing about becoming successful is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to stretch you, test you, and teach you who you really are. Breaking out of your comfort zone doesn't mean doing something wild just to prove a point. It means being intentional about growth. It means saying yes to new opportunities, even if you're not sure how they'll turn out. It means speaking up when you'd rather stay silent. It means asking for more when you've been taught to settle for less. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you train your mind to believe in your strength. You reinforce the truth that you can handle more than you thought. Most people look at successful individuals and think they must have had it easy. But behind every victory is a season of discomfort. Long nights, early mornings, rejections, doubts, loneliness, pressure. That's the part you don't see. But it's the part that builds character. It's what sharpens your discipline and strengthens your resolve. Every time you choose growth over ease, you're building the foundation for long-term success. You're showing the universe that you're serious about your goals, that you're not just talking, you're willing to act. Getting out of your comfort zone isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and choosing to stretch, to learn, to try, even if it's uncomfortable. It's saying to yourself, I wasn't born to be mediocre. You weren't put on this earth to just exist. You were built to thrive. And thriving means evolving. It means chasing the unfamiliar and trusting that you'll figure it out along the way. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're wondering why you're not further along, ask yourself, when was the last time I did something that scared me? When was the last time I challenged myself? Because comfort will never lead you to greatness. Greatness demands that you move, that you leap, that you grow. And the moment you stop fearing discomfort is the moment your life begins to change. Embrace it. Not because it's easy, but because everything you want is waiting for you on the other side of it. Rejection isn't the end of the road. It's a redirection, a test, a moment that separates those who truly want it from those who are just curious. When you face rejection, whether it's from a job, an opportunity, or even people you thought would support you, it stings. It hits you deep. You start to doubt yourself. You question if you're even on the right path. But let me tell you something, rejection is not failure. Rejection is feedback. It's life's way of saying, not yet, or not this way. But it's never saying, not ever. Most of the time, when you get rejected, it's not about you being incapable. It's about timing. It's about alignment. You might be ready for success, but the world might not be ready to receive what you've got just yet. And sometimes what you're asking for isn't big enough. You're praying for small things while God is preparing something way beyond what you can see. That rejection. That might be the door that had to close so the real one, the bigger one, could open. But you won't see that if you let rejection stop. Everybody who's ever achieved greatness has faced rejection. That's just part of the journey. The difference is, they didn't let it break them. They didn't let it define them. They used it. They took that pain, that disappointment, and turned it into fuel. Every no they heard made their yes more powerful. Every time someone told them they weren't good enough, they worked harder. They got sharper. They didn't throw a pity party. They got focused. They understood that rejection is part of the preparation. The truth is, rejection teaches you things that acceptance never could. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you humility. It teaches you to find your worth within yourself instead of looking for someone else to validate it. Rejection is like resistance in the gym, uncomfortable, but necessary to build strength. It builds that inner muscle that says, I'm still standing. And the more you go through it, the tougher you get. You learn how to bounce back quicker. You stop taking it personal and start taking it as a sign that you're actually trying. Because the only people who never get rejected are the ones who never try. You've got to learn to thank rejection. Not because it feels good, but because of what it's shaping in you. It's sharpening your vision. It's forcing you to get clear on your purpose. It's showing you what you really want and what you're willing to do to get it. That kind of clarity doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pain. It comes from getting knocked down and choosing to get back up anyway. And every time you get back up, you're building a legacy. You're building a testimony that says, I didn't quit when it got hard. So the next time you get rejected, don't shrink. Don't go hiding. Don't start doubting the gift inside you. Instead, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this isn't the end. This is the process. Keep working. Keep praying. Keep showing up. Because the breakthrough doesn't come to those who never hear. No, it comes to those who keep going anyway. Rejection is just a chapter in the story, not the whole book. And if you keep turning the pages, you'll find out that everything that was meant for you will find its way to you, no matter how many doors had to close first. Growth doesn't happen in ease. It happens in the stretch, in the pressure, in the moments where you feel like giving up, but choose to go just a little further. When you put yourself in situations that demand more from you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you discover levels within yourself that you never even knew existed. This kind of growth is not polite, it's not cute, and it's definitely not comfortable. It's gritty, it's raw, and it often shows up in silence when nobody's watching and no applause is being given. You grow in the late nights when you're questioning your decisions, in the early mornings when you're pushing yourself through fatigue, and in the quiet moments where you choose faith over fear. Most people think growth is just about achieving more, but true growth is becoming more patient, more disciplined, more resilient, more focused. That kind of transformation comes at a cost. You've got to be willing to let go of who you were so you can step into who you're meant to be. That's why staying in your comfort zone is dangerous. It keeps you attached to the old version of you. The version that's scared. The version that wants guarantees. The version that avoids risk. But stepping out of your comfort zone forces you to evolve. It forces you to adapt. You begin to think differently, work differently, respond differently. That's growth. Let me tell you something, the version of you that's going to live the life you dream of is not the version of you reading this right now. That person is inside you, yes, but they're waiting to be built, piece by piece, day by day. And the building blocks are hidden in your discomfort. Every obstacle, every setback, every hard lesson. That's construction material for your next level. You won't get stronger until you lift more weight. You won't get wiser until you face harder choices. You won't become more until you're willing to go through more. The people who achieve great things, who leave legacies behind them, they didn't get there because they stayed safe. They got there because they said yes to growth even when it was terrifying. They walked into rooms they didn't feel qualified to be in. They took on challenges they weren't sure they could handle. They moved forward when fear was screaming at them to turn back. And each time they did, they grew. Not just in skill or success, but in courage, in confidence, in clarity. But here's the part most folks don't talk about. Growth can be lonely. Not everyone's going to understand your path. Not everyone will cheer for your progress. Some people liked you better when you were smaller, quieter, easier to control. When you start growing, some relationships won't grow with you, and that's okay. Because your journey isn't about keeping everyone comfortable. It's about becoming the person you were born to be. And that person is not created in comfort. That person is forged in fire. So don't fear growth. Don't run from it. Embrace it, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Because those growing pains mean something inside you is shifting. Something inside you is expanding. That's life stretching you so you can carry more, do more, and ultimately be more. Keep moving forward. Keep leaning into the stretch. Because on the other side of that discomfort is your breakthrough, your next level, your true power. And when you get there, you'll look back and realize it was all worth it. Success was never meant to be easy, and growth was never meant to feel good. But if you can endure the discomfort, embrace the process, and trust what's happening in the unseen, you'll step into a version of yourself that's stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. The journey to success will challenge you, stretch you, and sometimes even break you. But that's where your greatness is born. So keep pushing, keep believing, and keep growing. Because the uncomfortable path is the one that leads to everything you've ever dreamed of.